Okay, guys, it's fine. If you can see my face, let's just dive into the section now. How to use your present JAM score to gain admission into Nigerian tertiary institution. All you need to know, right? Now, the first thing I want to quickly cover, first and foremost, I'll be running through them, what I'm going to be covering in this webinar section. Who am I? I'll just describe myself shortly for the sake of the new set of people that is kind of joining us. How admission works. I'm going to break down to you how admission really works, how your school does their aggregate calculation. I'm going to break down to you how your school does their aggregate calculation. I'm also going to talk about iJam score. iJam results does not guarantee admission. Then what does? I'm also going to be talking about. I'm going to be letting you know about cut-off mark and how it works. I'm also going to give you an offer, and I'm going to share with you the worst that could happen. Then we'll dive into the question and answer sections. So that will be literally all I'm going to be discussing with us. And I'm giving myself 30 minutes to run through my presentation slides and take as many questions as possible. Okay. So, guys, the first thing is who am I? That's the first thing I really want to talk about. Who am I? Well, not much talk. More than 70% of the students and parents here already know me. My name is Daniel, founder of FOBAC. FOBAC simply means Foundation Builder Academic Consult for many of us that are not aware. I have helped more than 500 students and still counting to gain admission into tertiary institution in Nigeria. Some of them are studying their dream course, while some are studying the alternative. And interestingly, majority of them are enjoying what they are doing. So right now, the purpose of this whole webinar is to also help you to be able to gain admission. Who are the chaps I've helped over the years? Who are the chaps I've helped over the years? Quite unfortunate that you can't see my screen, but if you can see my screen, for those that would be uh, listening to this video again, which student or what student have I been able to help? Well, just recently, I dropped it on my status because I know some of my old students sees my status, and I asked them to drop me a quick review for as many of them that have been able to help to gain admission. And quite good number of them turned up. Some of them did video for me. Some of them wrote the type and the sent. I'm going to be reading one from Comfort. Comfort said, "Good evening, sir. Apart from being an amazing teacher, Mr. Dan, I don't think I have appreciated the fact that your advice helped me a lot while seeking for admission. It's been 3 years now since my JAM classes, and I'm currently in my second year as a medical student in the University of Ilorin. I hope it is not too late." Blah blah blah. That is Comfort. I remember Comfort was like last 2 3 years student. I think that should be 2021 or thereabout. I remember her peculiarity then, but eventually she was able to gain admission to University of Ilorin. These are part of the testimonial of the chaps I've been able to help over the years. Good numbers of them, but honestly, I cannot put all their old stuff here. But for those that are in the group, don't worry, I'll share some of them to us. Now, let's dive into the real matter. How admission works generally. How admission works generally. If you're excited to know about how admission works generally, drop in the comment section that I am interested. Quickly, let me know if you're following. Now, let me go straight to the business. If you understand how admission works, you ask the right question. Because understanding how admission works is very, very important so that you ask the right question. You not be asking me as someone that scored 120, for instance, and be asking me that can I study medicine with 120? I believe most of you that ask such questions don't know how admission works. But after now, I believe you have a glimpse and understanding of how admission works, because this will honestly help you in making your decisions, right? Now, let's get to business. You need to understand the facts. And I know that you are aware that over 1.9 million students wrote JAM, 1.4 million got above 200. And the whole university we have in Nigeria can only take about 500,000 students, including private university. The question now is, what happens to the remaining 1 million plus that will not be given admission? When we have only about 500,000 space in every university in Nigeria, no university can do above their capacity. Note that 500,000 I'm talking about is the it comprises of the number of all the old university. That is, like, for instance, you can say we are not are taking more than 10,000 students. You can say, well, our capacity is just 7,000. UI can say our capacity is just 5,000. Join all of them together, 500,000 plus poly plus all of them, 500,000 slots are available. And why am I telling you this? So that you know how serious it is for you not to waste any opportunity and time. The question is, um, what happens to the other 1 million plus students, right? Now, let me tell you what happens to them. What happens to the remaining 1 million students that will not gain admission, because obviously not everybody will be admitted along the line. What happens to them is they will join new secondary school students to write Jamb again. The number increased, the chances become tougher and harder. Here are the facts you should understand about how admission works generally. So pay very, very much rapt attention to this. Now, the first thing is you must understand that the higher your JAMB score, the higher your chances. But it does not guarantee admission. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If you have 300, I've seen students have 320 something, 304, 37, 311, and co. They still did not gain admission. Why? Because they don't have the right information. Most likely, the school and the course they applied to, they could not meet up with the cutoff mark. That is ridiculous, right? Yes, it is, but it is what it is. So, the higher your JAM score, the higher your chances. True, but it does not still guarantee admission. First thing you need to note. Second thing you need to note: the less competitive your school is, the higher your chances. The less competitive your school is, the higher your chances. Unfortunately, no school is less competitive. Even University of Maiduguri is also competitive. And permit me to shock you a little bit that JAM did their statistics recently, and the top two most sought after school this year, as I'm speaking to you right now, is University of Ilorin and University of Lagos. More than 50,000 students applied to those two schools, and each of them only have capacity of 8,000 to 10,000. Quite ridiculous, yeah. That is just the simple truth. Now, which other facts do you need to pick up from them on how admission works generally? Forget medicine, forget law, forget accountancy and the likes. Your JAM score determine your course of study. Stark truth, stark fact. There is nothing you can do about that fact. Nothing you can do about the major truth. That forget law, forget medicine, forget all those one. It is what you have that choose the course that you are going to study. You might have dream, you might have ambition, they might be very big. But friend, let me just be sincere with you. If you don't have the required JAM score to study those courses, you might not be able to get that course. And what you need to really play around with is what can this particular score offer me? What can this score give me? And quite unfortunate that the majority are not even aware of this kind of information. You see students have 220 something, like I have one of them even analyzing for me. He had 245 and he wants to study medicine. I don't know if he's here hearing all this thing, but nobody knows you are the one. I don't think you should feel bad about me sharing this. But then for others to learn, you have 245, you want to study medicine, you are thinking of OOU, you did the calculation of OOU, you realize that you need to have 80 above to score to OOU in OOU exam, and you are being complicated by not being realistic. By you saying using words like you can work hard to get 80. If you can work hard to get 80 in OOU exam, why didn't you work hard to get 300 plus in JAM exam? That is the challenge I'm having with quite a lot of students. They are not always sincere with their capacity. They are not always sincere with their ability, so to say. Nobody's ability is limited, but seriously, we all have capacity. Just take that from me. We all have capacity, right? So, uh, forget medicine, law, accountancy, and the likes. The JAM score determines your course of study. Now, what other things you need to know on how admission works generally? Forget second choice. No school accepts second choice. They all said you must make them first choice before they can consider you for admission. So for some of you that say, okay, I applied to Unilag, last week is my second choice, and if Unilag did not work, last week it worked. Friend, awake, stop sleeping. Those things are the ancient of this methodology. It does not happen like that again. As a matter of fact, majority of the school, even why am I saying majority? All of the school, including Polytechnic, including College of Education, you must make them first choice before you can be considered for admission. Now, the tricky question now is, what happens if my first choice is not giving me admission? That is where you need a guide and good counsel, because you must make sure the first choice you are picking will, at least if not 100% guarantee, they at least 90% guarantee you that you gain admission. And why some people repeat JAM is because when they pick a particular course and they didn't give them admission, they will think they can apply for second choice, but it's not. It's not, right? So, guys, We need to take that into consideration. Now, the next thing that you must also know to understand how admission works generally is the 15 year. The factors used for admission by Nigerian universities differs. Now, let me make this clear and simple. But then, before I talk about that, I want to know if you are still with me. If you want me to unveil the factor that your school used for admission processing, just drop the name of your school in the comment section. Just drop the name of your school in the comment section. Very fast. I'm just picking the first two. I'll use it for example and I'll continue with the whole section. If you want me to drop how your school admission process works, because every school differs. You know, like is different from you know, is different from OU is different from University of Ibadan. They all have different modality of how they can. And the earlier you understand how your school actually works when it comes to admission processing, the better for you, right? So, guys, let me see if I have like first two schools to. Okay, fantastic. I got Foye from Akide Ibrahim. I got Osun State from great Adebobola. Okay, now let me use those two as example very fast. Fantastic. Ladu prevailed from now. Okay. OAU. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. Now, let me quickly say something here. We have three modes of how every school actually fall into these three types I want to describe. Right. So listen very attentively, and if you are jotting, please note it. Now, some school don't do post UTME, right? What they use for your admission processing is they use your JAM score and they use your whole level result. That's type A way of how school does the admission processing. Now, type B way is that some school does post-UTME. They do they'll use your post-UTME, they use your JAM, and they'll use your O level. That's type B way. Now, type C way is that some school literally just use your JAM result. Some school don't have time to start doing post UTME. They literally just use your JAM. And I'll give an example of each of these schools. Now, for the type A way that use just your JAM result and your WAEC result, Foye falls to that category. LASU falls to that category. EXU falls to that category. Osun State University falls to that category. They simply use your O level result and your JAM result. You don't need to do post UTME, right? Now, which school does post UTME? We have schools like Unilag, OAU, UI. This school literally use your post UTME. Now, which school use your JAM and post UTME? They don't use your YF. That is a type C school. Now, we have UI, for instance. UI will only consider um your what is it called? Your JAM result and your post UTME result. They won't consider your whole level result. When I mean they won't consider your O level result, I'm not saying they will not check if you meet up with the course you want to study with O level. What I'm saying is they will not use it as aggregate to calculate your total aggregate for each school, right? So you need to understand the peculiarity of your school. You cannot be person that have a weak WAEC result and you are choosing schools like University of Lagos. It is not wise simply because your WAEC result is weak. You choosing University of Lagos, you have already decreased your chances. Sorry, you choosing last one I mean now Lagos State University, you already decreased your chances of getting admission, right? So that is why I said do it. You have to understand the peculiar factor that's to do with every of your school. Okay, guys, let's continue. Exam score does not guarantee admission. Then what does? That is a question that should be popping in your mind now that okay, jam score does not guarantee admission, then what does? Now let me tell you a quick story. This story is uh one of my students that's last 2 years. Tao is her name. And I just want to use that scenario to explain and to pass a simple message, right? Now Tao did jam 3 2020. She had 311 or thereabout. Now she applied for medicine, um Unilag, but she could not get medicine Unilag at that time. Now she needs to apply again, right? As usual, she needs to do the jam again. Now she did the jam again. Unfortunately for her, she did not have up to what she has at first. She had 307. 307 or 305. I'm not so sure, but it's one of the two score. But interestingly, she had access to better information as at then. So instead of picking Unilag, she was advised to pick Bayero University since um, it's a place she can actually go. And the interesting thing is that who got admission the second year, same medicine and surgery at Bayero University. The question is, what actually gave Tao the admission? It's not the jam score, but the right information. The right information Tao got the second year was what separated the differences. Mind you, she even had a better jam score in the first year than the second year, but she could not gain admission in the first year when she had a better jam score. Rather, she was able to gain admission when she had a bit of low jam simply because she had access to a good information. So your jam score may not guarantee you admission. What actually does is the right information you have access to. Right? Now, let me talk about cut-off marks. Let me quickly talk about cut-off marks. Now, cut-off marks. If you are still with me and you want me to talk about the cut-off mark of your school, just drop your school in the comment section very fast. I'll give you the last year cut-off mark of your school as an example for others. But then it's the first two, three school I have that I'm going to be using as example. Very quickly, if you are right here with me on the live, you are presently where I am, all you need to do is to quickly drop your school. I'll use your school as an example to talk about cut-off marks so that everybody will understand. We're going to talk about cut-off marks in just few minutes. Quickly, let me see you in the comment section. Quickly drop. Fantastic. Okay, I have Foye, I have Oshu State, I have which other school am I having? Okay, I have Lasso. Interesting. Fantastic. Interesting. Good. All right. Now, let me talk about cut-off marks. Now, listen very attentively, please. If you have not been listening to anything since the beginning of this live stream, listen to this. Very, very important. Now, when you talk about cut-off marks actually varies. I will explain what I actually mean. You have to know this and know this, that there are different cut-off marks. Majority of you run with only jam cutoff mark. Now let me tell you, there's what we call jam cutoff, there's what we call university cutoff, and there's what we call course, the course you apply for cutoff. In other words, we call it aggregate, right? Now, the first person that commented is a 4-year student. Now let me use 4 year as an example. 4-year, generally, jam cutoff for last year, let me just tell you, jam cutoff for last year is 160 for universities, right? 160 is what JAM used as last year cutoff for universities, right? Now, does that mean if you score 165, you can apply to school like University of Ilorin or you can apply to school like University of Lagos? The answer is no, simply because there is JAM cutoff 160. The next question you should ask yourself is, what is my school cutoff? If you only work with JAM cutoff, which is where some of you make mistake, say JAM, when JAM now release cutoff for 2024 now, you say, JAM drop it to 150, and that is, I can, it's a lie. It does not work that way. There is school cutoff, which you need to ask yourself, what is the school cutoff? Now, let me use Foye as an example. Foye has different cutoff mark for different courses when it comes to JAM. They have cutoff mark for medicine and surgery, they have cutoff mark for radiography, they have cutoff mark for banking, differently. In fact, Foye have a PDF file on their website that they publish all the old courses and the JAM cutoff. That is, if you don't have up to that JAM cutoff, don't apply for that course, don't apply for that school. But literally, if you still have 160 above as of last year, you will still be able to apply for some courses in Federal University of Ekiti. But that is not applicable to schools like Unila. That is not applicable to schools like University of Glory. That is not applicable to schools like LASU. Those schools have their own cutoff mark. So you need to always find out what is a cutoff mark for my school, right? So aside the fact that there is university cutoff mark, there's also what we call course cutoff mark. Now, when everything is done, you have applied for post-TME in the school you are going to. Now you have done the post-TME exam. Now the school will now sit down. They will look at the number of students that apply to them, look at the number of students that did well in the post-TME. Then they will use that one to determine their cutoff. Schools like Unila do this very, very well. When they are done with post-TME, what they will now do is that, okay, let's see how many of these students have what is it called? Good amount of score in JAM and in their post-TME. They do the average. They look at the number of students they want to take in. If they are only taking 100 students for University of Unilag, medicine and surgery students, what they will now do is, for medicine and surgery, they will peg the cutoff mark. They will say the cutoff mark for medicine and surgery is 76, is 81, is 85, just for instance. That simply is standing as the departmental cutoff, the course cutoff. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So there is always difference between the JAM cutoff, the university cutoff, and the cutoff mark for the school, the course you're applying for in that particular school, right? So let me see the second person that identify. Let me use your school as example. Okay, I have UI. See now, schools like UI, for instance, if you do not score 200 above, even if Jamb say their general Jamb cutoff is 120, UI over the years has never gone beyond 200. Same thing with UNILA. Same thing with some top federal universities. They will never go below 200. So you don't move close to them as a Jambite that have less than 200. You don't move close to schools like UI. You don't move close to schools like UNILA. You don't move close to schools like OAU simply because you don't have the Jamb score that it takes. So you don't have to waste your time choosing school or playing around school uh, schools like that, right? Now we are almost done. We are almost done. Now let's go to the next thing I have for you guys. Now, what is my offer? My offer to help. Now, aside the fact that I've been giving some free tips and general guide, general counsel, all of that. Fantastic. The fantastic thing is that majority of you have been making use of. I remember I did a free guide of recent, and I shared to as many that requested for it. I gave, but then the issue of admission is not to be treated generally. If I give a general information like I give now, I can guarantee you that it is not the major information you need when it comes to admission. Now, I understand that there are peculiar situations as well. Everybody have different challenges. In fact, some of you here, you can even have an O-level result that is not even complete. Some of you might have O-level result that is complete. Maybe it's on one subject. Mr. A might have different one from Mr. B. Mr. B might have different one from Mr. C. Now, if I'm giving a general counsel, you might not really find help in that kind of situation. Now, peculiar situation. Your situation is different from your friend's situation. Most time, you need someone to hold your hands to help you make the best decision when it comes to school to change to and course to change to. Now, one thing is to change institution or course. The other thing is to gain admission. Now, it is so hard to pay attention to about 200 students in this group. Honestly, I don't see myself. That is why sometimes when some of you ask me question like uh what school can I go, what, you should understand that I might not really be able to pay attention to everybody. I might not be able to attend to everybody at the same time. And that is just one of the major challenges I'm always having with graduation. So what I do in most cases is that I literally decide to work with only just few amount of students. I literally honestly used to decide to work with only few amount of students, right? Now, I will only be able to self guide just few students. I think every year I do like 20 to 30, depending. I don't know how many will be this year. And here is what you actually get if you allow me to hold your hand and to guide you step by step to gain admission. Now, the first thing is the high level of guarantee that admission is more like certain because there are strategies that majority are not aware about. Now, some people feel they can only pick one school. Yes, truly, you can only pick one school as first choice. But there's actually a way where you can pick. I've attended a situation where I've guided students to pick Unilag, Funab, and UI in the same year. Unilag never worked. UI, Funab never worked. UI actually worked eventually. And we're only able to do this by being strategic about it. It's not just that you don't, obviously you know you cannot even pick those three schools down, right? And these are the kind of peculiar guide you get, right? Now, I'm also going to give you access to free 1 hour consultation where I will pay attention to your peculiarities. Whatsoever peculiarity it is. I know some parents used to have issue with distance, some used to have issue with O level result and the likes. So what I'm going to do is you get access to free 1 hour consultation where you will be able to ask me detailed questions peculiar to your own situation. The third thing is you are going to get free post-TNE materials if your school is doing post-TNE. You're also going to get access to me anytime, any day, and many more. Right now, before you ask your question, because I'm going to be giving room to few students, are going to be asking me peculiar questions in this group. Now, how much do you think I should price the consultation that will save you another year, that will save you from making countless mistakes like others do, that will also save you from changing institution more than 4 times? Because I know some people will pay Jamb more than 4 times to change institution, and most of the time they used to spend more than 20,000 naira to change like 4 times. Because I know some people they charge 5K for change of institution, and like imagine you are changing school like 5 times. It does not make sense. And the worst thing is that they won't even gain admission even with the fact that they change as many number of times, right? Now, I'm going to save you from all those stress with my simple guide and peculiar guide, right? Now, what other things, how much do you think I should price all this? Now, I remember the parents back then in 2018, they wanted medicine for his girl. I remember very vividly. And they paid 500K to someone. I don't know, I think he's a professor or lecturer in University of Lagos back then. And the funny thing is, she was not able to get the medicine. Eventually, we were able to guide her properly, and she was able to get biochemistry for that particular year, right? But you could imagine the ridiculous amount of money this man actually paid to get medicine. I'm not even going to charge you anything close to this, not even half, even when I know that it's extremely worth it. Not even 20K, right? Not even 20K. I really want to make it as affordable as possible. Now, what is the price you are going to pay for this full consultation, for this one-on-one consultation? Now, with just 5K, you get access to a set apart group where I will be leading and guiding some students meticulously, where I will dedicate time for you and you alone, and will also take you through the ride till you gain admission. Note, this is not a journey, a one-time journey. It is, the promise is till you gain admission. That is, I'm going to, every step and guide you need to take at every point in time, just for you to gain admission, is going to be what you're going to be having access to. Now, to those that are still here, let me see how many students that are here. Let me see how many students I still have here. Okay, I still have like 15 students listening to me. Fantastic. So I want to do something for these 15 students now. Now, what I'm going to do for you is, you guys are not going to pay anything close to 5,000 naira to get access to the consultation or to get access to the set apart group whatsoever. Now, you guys are only going to pay 3,000 naira. That is if you pay within 24 hours. From now, that is this time tomorrow. If you pay 3K within 24 hours, we're going to add you up to the group. And see, let me just be sincere with you. There are some students already in the group. There are some students already in the group. And obviously, I know there are some students that are not patient. They've been asking, what do I need to do, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I cannot, I've just realized Nigerians will appreciate free things. Many a times when I give some of these guide counsel freely, they don't appreciate it. So literally, I told some of them that are chatting me up, okay, see, this is what I charge for consultation. Are you ready to pay? And interestingly, some of them showed interest and I added them to the group and voila. So you can join them within the next 24 hours with just 3,000 naira. Now, question and answer time, right? It is time for me to take all your questions. It is time for me to take all your questions. Now, if you have any question, just drop yes in the comment section. I have question. Yes. Just yes. Yes is fine. Just yes. Drop it in the comment section very quickly. Then I would pick accordingly, first come, first serve. And I'm going to pick only 3 questions because it's almost 1 hour that I planned for this webinar. So if you have question, quickly, just do yes. Just do yes. If you have question, just do yes. Drop in the comment section quickly. I'm going to, okay. Fantastic. Okay, great will come first. Ladu will come second. Michael will come third. And those are the 3 people I'm going to be taking questions from. Quickly, great. Drop your question. Why great drop his question? Let me quickly say this. Why great drop a question? Let me quickly say this. Now, what is the worst thing that could ever happen if you didn't get access to good information? One thing I'm certain of is that not everybody will gain admission. I'm damn certain about it. In fact, not everybody that is listening to me right now will gain admission. Now, what is the worst thing that will happen? That some of them might even spend 20K to change school and course. Some of them might even pay people 50,000, 100,000 to help them work admission processing. And they will not still gain admission. You can imagine the double loss. But here is me offering you to pay 3,000 now to get access to a step-by-step consultation and guide, having access to 1 hour consultation, having access to me guiding you all through, having access to free post-UTME materials, and you can also get access to me anytime, right? So these are the set of students These are the things you actually get when you get into the consultation. Now the choice is actually yours. I have all you need to do if you're ready to pay, just do me a DM via WhatsApp. I believe you get my access via WhatsApp. Send you the payment details, then you pay. I add you up to the group, then we start the consultation by dedication of 1 3 hour section for you and you alone. All right. Now let's have the question quickly. I'm going to answer the question very fast. Now let's have the question. Okay. Uh, okay. Great. Great. Adebo Bola. Since Jam this year is not really, since Jam this year is not really good, will some state university reduce their departmental cutoff mark, like Osun State University? See, let me just tell you how this thing works. See, because some people did not pass, does not mean that schools do not see. Naturally, school already is overflowing with students, because school like Uni Osun, I'm dead certain that more than 20,000 students will make them first choice, and I'm so sure that they cannot accommodate more than 7,000 to 8,000 students. So either people have low jam score, high jam score, the major thing is to be concerned about your own self. You don't use that statistics alone, because there are other factors that there are other factors that contribute to admission success. So using that factor alone is like you're shortchanging yourself. It does not actually work that way, right? So please just try to understand that. So the major thing is just focus yourself. Focus on yourself. Ladun, I'm expecting your question. Ladun, Ladun. I think Ladun was the first. Michael, okay, let me read Michael question. With not a very good jam score of 264. You said jam 264 is not good jam score. Omo, na good jam score. I want to study computer science. I'm still writing O level, which I'm only sure of 18 over 20 if I'm going to Unilag. You want 18 over 20? Do you know what it takes to have 18 over 20 Unilag O level? That is, you have to have A's and B's. Yeah. If you have 18 over 20, fantastic. If you have 18 over 20, you have a higher chance. But the question is, what happens if you don't have 18 and 20, 18 over 20, right? Okay, so Michael, I believe I've answered your question. Fantastic. All right, the last question I want to take before I end this section is Ladun. Okay, sir, my question is, will university reduce cutoff mark for this year? See, let me just be sincere with you. Even if Jamb reduce cutoff mark to 110 as a result of mass failure, there are some standard that will not be shaken, that will not be broken by some school. I'm so certain school like Unilag will not come down come down below 200. I'm so certain school like UI will not come below 200. I'm so certain that school like OE will not come. So that is why I said, leave mass failure, focus on yourself. The question that you should ask is, can this my school give me this, give me that? If it does not, what are the things that I should do? And if it does, how do I need to go about it? Those are the right questions to ask. So guys, I think I've exhausted answering 3 questions, and I think I would want to end this live stream exactly 1 hour time. But let me just see if I can answer one more question in the next 1 minute. Okay, I think I've exhausted all the whole question I have here. Right. Okay, if you are just joining late, you can always watch the replay of the streaming. I hope by the time I save this, the replay will be um there. So guys, if you want to be part of those that would want me to hold your hand till you gain admission, you want me to guide you properly with the right information to gain admission, uh all you just need to do is just ask for an account number, send you the account number, you pay, I add you to the group, give you your 1 hour consultation, we discuss on what you need to do, and voila, you will be on your way to securing admission for yourself this year.